Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 169th live stream from the Misfit Gamer Studios. I am your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussions, and a very special D&D Discussions, as that is as well. That was not how you say that, but it's okay. Very special D&D Discussions, as it were, because we have a very special homebrew review today. We have officially reached 100 reviews. Today is technically the 100th review that we've done on this channel, which is kind of exciting. Not everything has been from the community, but it is just really interesting to think that over just about 2 years, we've gone over 100 items, races, subclasses. I don't even know all of it, but that's super fascinating. That's super exciting. So Pokeniner, I saw you in chat. I hope you're excited because yes, we have your item up next, which is item 100. And that's very, very exciting. So let's get into, hold on. Excuse me. Whoa, there we are. So we're going to get into it here just a second. Don't want to spoil anything just yet. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this. My camera's all messed up.
There it is.
Bam. Yes, so 100 reviews. I'm super excited about that. I don't think we have very much in terms of updates. The only update I really have today is that we had a really successful community stream on Saturday.
Yes, that was very cool.
And I finished the editing today of the Alucard build, of the pop culture builds.
Okay.
So for pop culture builds, we did Alucard, and that is edited. It is done. I have to do some audio prep and export it and get it ready for YouTube, but
sure.
I'll do all that tomorrow. So Wednesday, the pop culture build for Alucard will be posted. I'm trying to still trying to keep out 1 week or one episode a week, one video a week. So Wednesdays is the goal, and we're keeping up with it. This will be week 4 in a row. 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
Okay. Let's freaking do it.
You used to be under Kage, and then we've changed it up a little bit. I don't know what y'all think. Let us know. Like I said, we're trying some new things. All right, we are constantly trying new stuff to see what people like. This is gonna be the first time. So yeah, we started doing this last week. Then we did it on Saturday for kind of both of those were kind of specialty streams because we had the subclass showdown and then we had pop culture build.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's working. I thought we'd give it a try for today. And then in the Discord, I will go ahead and take some screenshots of this setup today, as well as some screenshots from previous streams. And I'm going to leave it up to the community. Let us know which version you like, whether you like to be in the middle, whether you like chat down there, whether you like us down at the corner when we're, reviewing all this stuff on screen. Yeah, we're gonna set up a poll and let everybody decide what the new stream setup should be. But we wanted to give it a couple examples and a couple test runs before everyone had a chance to, feel it out. But yeah, any other updates other than that? I know I have to get the April community stream vote started by Friday.
Yes, that's right. That's coming up.
That's it. I think that's everything so far.
Yeah, man, we're chugging along. I like it. I know that we were talking a little bit ago about what kind of what way we can fit in more of these reviews, because we want to do as much as we can, whether that be offline content that we release later or whether it be another additional extra stream that we can potentially do. But again, like you said, find the time to do all that. That's
so you did have a really good idea about doing a lightning round almost.
Yes.
Off stream lightning round, where instead of us doing a full review, what we do is we take some of the smaller, maybe more like one pager creations, and we do those off stream to where we can kind of go through them a little bit quicker, not worry about so many of the tangents, get through all of the balancing that we normally would, and then we can edit those even down even further, so where they're a little bit more digestible. Plus, we can kind of pump through them a little bit more.
Yeah,
we'd get through a lot more, and then we'd get through the meaty stuff like live on stream.
Exactly.
So, all right, yeah. So that's an option that might come up in the future for homebrew review and for like the smaller stuff that people send us. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we can get to today's review. Let us know how y'all like the setup and if you enjoy how this is going to go. Actually, you know what? I will do also, because I've been getting into this I need to get used to doing like YouTube intro. So we'll do a quick YouTube intro and then we'll get right into the review.
Okay, let's get it.
All right, cool. Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the MisfitGamersStudios. I am your host, Vortex. That is your host, Kage, and this is Homebrew Review. Today, we have a community creation submitted to us by Pokeniner. This is an otherworldly patron called the Crooked. Don't really know what that is, but we are going to be excited to see what it is and see if it holds up to any of the other patrons that we know of. So join us, and we will see how this fares today. All right, so here we are. The dice bothers me since the 20 isn't facing us. Oh, because it's I mean, that's sometimes how it works. 20s don't always have to face you.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you know what though? At least it's a 20 and not a 28.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
So, although the 8 is right below it, it's pretty damn close.
Apparently 20s and 8s go hand in hand. All right. Change this around. All right, so let's begin today's review. The Crooked, an otherworldly patron submitted by Pokeniner. Starting with the description. In the town of Killian, where good crops are scarce, farmers whisper of the scarecrow. Crafted to be hideous, it repelled every pest and stirred envy in a rival farm. One night, the jealous farmers stole it, shattering it in triumph. However, their victory was short-lived. As darkness fell, the scarecrow's broken remains slithered back together, hunting them across their own fields. By dawn, they were gone. And from his farm, the Scarecrow's creator watched, smiling, knowing those who sow ruin will also reap it. Old Folks' Tale of Killian, various authors. So I'm confused, but okay. Like initially I was like, okay, is this going to be like, a farm god? Is it, like a god of the harvest? Is the Scarecrow the god? But then the Scarecrow came back and then the farmer who created it. So is it the farm? I'm intrigued, but confused. But intrigued enough to keep, but it's not one of those, I'm intrigued enough to continue reading. Sometimes you get so confused, you're just like, I'm going to just flip the page. I still want to read.
You're like, I need to figure this out. That's okay. Okay.
What do you get from this?
I hear what you're saying. Like, I feel like there is an interesting story that is being told. And I feel like there's again, like you said, more I need to digest to understand the perspective that I'm looking at. And I'm hoping that's going to be revealed. But the idea of if this creature, this Scarecrow, this entity that has the ability to come back from undeath and haunt things, like if we're talking about your patron and what it is and what is imbuing you with powers, and perhaps we'll see that in some of the abilities, and that might give clues. Many of the reviews we've done in the past, we've seen, this ability makes a lot of sense. This plays into what this entity is, right? Like I remember that in the one review where it was kind of like metal, like liquid metal.
The Mercurialist.
Yes, that one. That's the one.
I remember just by how difficult the name was. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see where this takes us. I do think that a patron and a Scarecrow imagery is definitely up my alley. I'm definitely already intrigued by this. And then provided, is this provided? All right, so the provided artwork here,
yes,
looks absolutely insane.
This is why I said Nightmare Before Christmas vibes.
Oh, I got you. The Nightmare. Okay, I'm also really interested too. I'm interested in this divininess, almost these roots that are making up the creature. I don't know if that was just our artistic leniency to create the image, or if that has something to do with the abilities.
If that's okay.
But yeah, I'm really
would be very
digging,
interesting to see.
Yeah, but I do like just this very grotesque. I mean, it definitely fits the description we got. Very hideous, grotesque type of Scarecrow, not your standard.
Yes,
I'm all right.
Very
I'm all
much.
right with that.
Very much so.
Puppeteer vibes. I could get that. Okay. Because again, the farmer was smiling at it. Interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. We do have more for the description. Interesting. I don't know if this was okay. So we get more of the description. So your patron is a creature of whispered horrors. A being feared in folklore. The monster beneath the bed, the shadows in the night, the walking Scarecrow in the fields. Tales of its existence have shaped the actions and attitudes of countless listeners, and now you serve to ensure the tales endure. Whether through spreading its myth or enacting its horrors, your patron looks to continue holding its influence. The question remains, how will you weave its story into the world? Credit to Cinder's Project Storytime team for assisting in this creation. Interesting. So that's an interesting take on a patron of it's not it doing anything. It's almost like it's trying to make a story for itself through its warlocks, which I do appreciate because we've talked about this on the stream before. Very rarely do we ever truly discuss the actual relationship and the deal that's made. So this is baked in. It's not just a deal for your soul. We finally get to understand a little bit of the motivation. The deal is I give you this, but you make sure I am feared. Even though I don't exist in your world, even though I am not there to cause this destruction, what I need is for people to still believe I am. And that's the deal I make with you. You do that for, because again, a lot of the times we imagine this, the warlock is someone down on their luck or at their last, thread. And imagine just a farmer who's not about to lose everything, but a farmer who, is just wanting to be the best. And something comes along and says, hey, your area is without me. You know what I mean? Now, the warlock doesn't always have to be down on their luck. It could just be someone who needs the edge, right? So I kind of like that this isn't necessarily a barter for your soul.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like that we are
very much so
writing in how our interaction with our patrons supposed to be, and it gives us a detailed outlook, right? Because right out the gate, it gives the DM an opportunity to say, "Hey, now I know how to watch you." Because a lot of times, if you're a warlock, how is the DM supposed to integrate your patron? What are they really waiting for? What are they watching you doing, right? Unless you went out of your way to make the deal with your with your DM, this at least says, hey, if you don't, when you want to go break into that castle, if you don't do it, in his name, if you're going to scare someone on and off, from like the guards, and you don't do it because of him, I can punish you for it, or your spell doesn't go off. Like stupid little shit. I give you disadvantage on the roll because you could have done it from the form of your patron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that. It's also just a very interesting take on a patron's interests.
That is very true.
It's a unique way to look at how a patron wants to influence the mortal world.
Yeah. That's wild. I kind of like that.
I will say that's very much in line with High Point, because belief is extremely powerful. It's not the only power, but it's part of power. So imagine something like this, how it would work in High Point would be somewhere along the lines of, let's say you had a deity or something of that power, right? A god tier. And you couldn't kill it, but you wanted to get rid of it. Well, one of the things is it needs believers, right? It needs followers. So one way to usurp a deity is to get rid of part of its power source. So you could say that this would have been, say, a excuse me, some sort of creature that was intentionally locked away or locked from interacting with the mortal world, so they couldn't directly gain followers like deities do.
Right.
And this would be the only way that they could do it, is they can't do direct, they can't do the direct things like gods can. But if they could just tap into people and say, do it for me.
Yeah.
Just enough to where I can give you power. You know what I mean? And does that enough times to slowly like, I could see that's how it would work in High Point. Is this would be something that someone's trying to lock away but can't outright kill. And this is its only way to continue just basically staying alive, not gaining real power, not from these individuals, but it's just enough to stay alive. Because again, he's not asking for your soul, he's asking for you to spread my belief. And spreading my belief is so much more powerful.
That's wild.
So I like it.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I like this.
Egregore, deity who gets power by recognition, people believing in it. Yeah. That's basically how basically how deities work in my setting, in High Point. It's not like the only way, but a large portion of their power comes from their faith system, their pool of believers. So absolutely, I think that this fits right in for what I would like to see from a patron. Something different than just, it's from somewhere unknown.
Yeah.
And it's giving you powers for some reason.
Very fair. I like that.
And again, this right here, the question remains, how will you weave its story into the world? That right there, to me, is what, like, everything about this is for the player.
Mm-hmm.
That sentence right there is what should be speaking to the DM. If your player has chosen this, that is the sentence for you. You take that, and now you know how to weave their story and how they should be utilizing their powers. You could call it, a little bit railroady in how to play the player, but again, I don't have any sympathy for that, because just like if you choose a class, you chose it for a reason. If you're choosing this patron, you're choosing it for this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't worry about the min-maxing and getting its abilities. You're choosing it because of its because of its.
I love it.
All right, so let's get to the expanded spell list. The Cricket lets you choose from an expanded spell list when you learn the Warlock spell, or when you learn a Warlock spell, the following spells are added to the Warlock spell list for you. And I'm assuming this would also have the terminology. It also doesn't count the number of Warlock spells you get.
Yes.
Packed Magic spell level, we get 1st through 5th. So starting with 1st, we get Dissonant Whispers and Fog Cloud. I'm not familiar with Dissonant Whispers. At 2nd, Nistel's Magic Aura and Pass Without Trace. Great, I like that. Pass Without Trace does kind of make sense because we've seen the Monster Under the Bed, Shadows in the Night, Walking Scarecrow. Pass Without Trace makes perfect sense for all of that. The Magic Aura,
I like Fog Cloud.
Yeah, Fog Cloud. Oh yeah, making it creepy, especially in this for the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Dissonant Whispers and
that's
the
like
magic...
a psychic attack.
Okay, I get that. Oh yeah, I totally get that. Makes you feel on edge.
Yeah,
really makes it feel like something's wrong.
Psychic damage. Target was make a save.
Oh, Feign Death.
Pain.
Feign Death is perfect. Spirit Guardians makes a lot of sense.
Spirit Guardians. Oh, I love Spirit Guardians for this.
Fabricate. I get Phantasmal
I love
Killer.
Spirit Guardians for this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool. I want to do that.
Oh, Magic Aura is an illusion. Okay. Makes things seem different.
Gosh.
Fabricate and Phantasmal Killer are also on point. Animate Object, and I'd have to get refreshed on Legend lore. But so far, other than I just have to get questioned on update on Legend lore. But this is
describe
perfect.
a person, place, or object the spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, no, that I like that. Dissonant Whispers essentially lets you whisper to a target who has to make a wisdom save. It does psychic damage and must immediately use the reaction to move away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. This is no change. Not even this is the first time we've seen one of these where none of them seem out of place. I'm not questioning any of these, and I'm in for it.
Like before I even know anything about what this thing can do, all of that feels right.
Yeah, especially for the explanation that we got, I can pretty much see a use for every single one of these directly tied to my Patron. Right? The Dissonant Whispers, the Fog Cloud, the Aura, the Pass Without Trace, Feign Death, Spirit Guardians, Fabricate, Phantasmal Killer, Animate Object are all of there to use to scare people. Basically to make it look like his presence is there, right? Your patron's presence is there.
Yeah.
And in the Legend lore, what is that there for? To learn what will fucking scare them. Like that's how I look at that. Is Legend lore is there to allow you to learn what is their superstitions, and then you have every other spell to make those superstitions come true, and blame it on your patron. I gotta step away real quick, but that's basically how I read this so far, which is why it fits so well, because I can immediately pinpoint. Oh, I would do that. Name it after my patron. Oh, I could do that. Name it. Oh, I could do that. Make it look like I am my patron. Like every single one of these, just you do all of that, and you're just like I'm a walking embodiment of something that can't be here.
Yeah. This is very interesting. This is not actually what I expected, but I feel like this is much more accurate to what I expected than what I expected, if that makes any sense. I'm very much here for this. I love the direction that it's going. I want to know, like, even after hearing all of these spells, like, what is the ability foundation going to look like? Like, what type of abilities are we going to have? Like, potentially some psychic attack type deals, but also potentially it could be, I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it is very intriguing and very enticing. So I'm excited to see what direction we end up going.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh, learning about Forgotten Tales about your deity in order to revive it in like the local area. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, all of these spells, I am 100% down for, and no changes.
I love it.
All right, moving on to level 1 ability, Cunning Tail. Your patron's talent for lurking in the background inspires you to lurk about yourself. You can take the hide action as a bonus action on each of your turns, and you can also attempt to hide when you are only lightly obscured. In addition, you gain proficiency in the stealth skill. I would not mind. I don't dislike any of this. I wouldn't mind the verbiage of if you already have these things, like such as if you are, well, I guess you wouldn't have any of these things, right? You wouldn't be able to have them unless you were a rogue.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, unless somehow you wanted to add verbiage about multi-classing in order to, you know, give expertise. I don't know if that automatically would give it to you.
This is a warlock subclass. You get this out the gate.
That's what I'm just saying. If you happen to,
you still get base stuff from choosing your class. So yeah, I would totally add that at the very least to the stealth skill one.
Just say if you multi-class into rogue, you gain.
Or if you already, I would just put it as if you are already proficient in the stealth skill, you gain expertise.
Yeah, instead. Just being able to say that, I think would be just worth it. No, that would be too powerful. I was gonna say again on top of that, if you can already take the hide action, as in you're already a rogue,
yeah,
you get advantage. I think that might be too much, especially at level 1. Well, it wouldn't be at level 1 though, because minimum level 2, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if early game having advantage on hide would actually be broken or not, but you could add that if you really wanted to go one extra step. Because again, if you already are a rogue, then by multi-classing into this, you're not going to get anything.
Yes.
You just want to be careful about, it's a very one-off situation, but you still want to make sure that it still fits.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way. I personally do not feel bad if somebody multi-classes into a class that has something that they already have. Like if you're a paladin and you multi-class into fighter, or you're a fighter that multi-classes into paladin or whatever, and both of you get extra attack, they don't stack on each other. So at that level, you're not going to get anything.
That's fair. Okay. I mean,
you know, and so
in that respect, considering it that way, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to. Outside of that, right out the gate, I think this is cool for a warlock to be sneaky. I think it's cool for a level 1.
Yeah.
And it's not too powerful, but it gives you a lot more versatility with what you can do as a warlock.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. All right. So also at level 1, you get Frightening Fable. Your patron's tail rubs off on you, invoking dread in those you fight. As an action, you can force a creature you can see within 30 feet and is unaware of you to make a wisdom saving throw against your warlock spell save DC. On a failure, the creature becomes hesitant and suffers the following effects until the end of your next turn. The creature becomes frightened of you for the duration. While frightened this way, the first time on a turn the creature takes damage, it takes additional psychic damage equal to your proficiency bonus. The creature cannot take any reactions. I am okay with this. The only hesitation, like when I first read this, my only first hesitation is why would it be frightened of you if it has to be unaware? It's my only logical inconsistency. I love the other two. I love the fact that it
what type of damage is it?
It just says that while frightened this
psychic
way,
damage. Okay,
it's psychic.
Here's exactly how I picture this. Right, you're walking down a dark alley in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden, you hear a name, and that name invokes a picture of this hideous creature in your mind, and that's what's giving you this psychic damage, right? And
it's only going to take psychic damage if it takes damage. The first time it takes damage, it will take an additional psychic damage, but this doesn't do damage.
Well, okay, the creature becomes frightened of you for the duration. Well, we'll just say that's the trigger. That's what's frightening it, even if it doesn't
like basically
take damage
you made
from
it frightened, and then the first thing it saw was you, and so it's like considering you the thing. Yeah. Think of it like freezing in fear. Yeah. Okay, and so Pokeniner's suggesting that because it's an action, the action is implying that you're making yourself visible.
Oh,
like, so they have to be unaware of you. So you basically have.
It's basically going like boo.
Exactly. It's
okay.
It's kind of essentially putting a surprise round in your action economy.
Okay.
Like it's you being able to say, I'm doing a surprise round of attack, and instead of it being combat, it's this.
Okay.
But that's kind of what it is. It's giving you the action economy version of a surprise.
But I also love this idea that like
you do get a buff on a sneak. Well, I mean, yes, you could say you get a buff on a sneak attack, but I could see players arguing, but if the action isn't making me aware, then I'm no longer hiding, so I can't get sneak attack. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, no, I get the idea that if you were dipping into rogue, you probably could.
But it's also as an action, so
you wouldn't
be able to attack.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're doing some offhand attack, but then usually you can only do that when you use your action to attack.
I love that the creature can't make any reactions. Like, I love that they're just kind of like frightened in the sense that I love that they get so tense and hesitant that they can't take reactions. I love that. I don't even mind the additional psychic damage. I feel like, especially with fifth edition, I just don't know enough to know if having this at level 1 is too much. Being able to like get someone frightened of you, because I don't know, like I don't know what other ways you can get that condition, and I don't know if it should be that easy. Because I like the other two. The other two are great.
What is the duration? It says for the duration, but what is the duration?
Until the end of your next turn. So it's not that long. Like I said, I just don't know enough about how 5th edition handles frightened conditions, so I can't properly judge it myself. Because I would say that, like in 2nd edition, that would be quite powerful to be able to do that. But I like the other two aspects immensely. Like frightening someone to the extent that within like a round or two they take extra damage and can't take reactions. Those two I'm fine with.
Frightened does this. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is within line of sight.
Okay.
You cannot willingly move closer to the source of your fear. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Right. But what would what are other ways to cause this? That's what I'm saying. I don't know enough of 5e mechanics to know at level 1 is this totally chill, or would this be something I would expect to see at level 3? That's my only concern. I just don't know enough. I'm not saying it's too powerful. In 2nd edition terms, yes, this is a little bit outside of what I would accept. But for 5th edition, it may be totally fine.
With the effect on the action economy that this would have, like I imagine a really cool narrative of like you popping up behind somebody like with like a knife around your throat, like you talking to them, and then you like moving out of there.
I see way distance. More out non-combat utility.
Sure.
Like RP utility. I see this as more RP than combat for sure.
But like again, kind of like you said at the beginning, like you choose this, you're not really choosing this for to min-max. You're choosing it for the lore because it has such deep and cool lore, and like especially when you're trying to sew and weave these stories into the world, like you're gonna want cool ways to do that.
Okay. And from chat, most people are saying that it's typically caused by a 1st level spell.
Oh, what?
Like frightened. Like frightened typically gets caused by something like a 1st level spell. So okay. From a 5th level point of view, I think it's fine. I don't know if I would accept that one bullet point. But what I would do in high point, because more of the 2nd edition level, I would probably just keep the you can do this. Like basically you instill the fear in them because they don't know it's you. Like, you know, from the shadows, you give them the creeps, right? It's like they know someone's watching them. You whisper at them. And for a duration, any damage they take or the next damage they take will be increased, and they can't take reactions. Those make perfect sense, especially for high point, of how you could easily inflict that on somebody. I just don't know if I would go personally the full frightened, but I don't think it's a problem for 5th edition. So won't lose a point for imbalance.
For sure.
I just don't necessarily think I would choose to do it.
For sure.
If that makes sense. Some races can cause frighten if they misty step next to someone. Like if they're in the winter season. Interesting.
Wild.
Very situational, obviously, like in the, you know, but
Right,
okay,
right.
makes sense. And this is also situational. You have to catch them unaware
Yeah.
and take an action. Okay. So
Although you do get very good at being able to do that.
So yeah, I'm not gonna officially suggest any changes here from a fifth edition side. I'm just putting in the note that on a personal level, I would probably take down 1 notch.
For sure.
But that's it. So we jump next to level 6, Darkest Hour. Your essence of fear exudes from the power your patron has granted. You are immune to the frightened condition. Okay, that immediately is understandable from the previous one.
Love that.
Additionally, while you're concentrating on a spell, the fearful presence of your patron guards you. Hostile creatures cannot willingly move into an unoccupied space that is within 5 feet of you unless you allow them to. Creatures are immune to this effect if they are immune to being frightened. Okay, so makes physical contact breaking of concentration pretty much impossible. Not impossible, but this prevents someone from just coming up and attacking you and removing concentration.
Sure. Yeah.
Unless they have a reach.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. If the creature starts their turn within 5 feet of you, they must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or spend their turn moving out of your presence before they can take any other action. Okay. So I like that it didn't immediately cause frighten. I was kind of worried that it was just going to keep being this compounding thing. No, I kind of like that. I kind of like that you basically just have this aura that I would almost wish that, because if you start your turn, you have to save or leave. I think there should be a save to enter it. Like, I think there should be a way for them to push through it. Because it says that hostile creatures cannot willingly move into an unoccupied space that's within 5 feet of you. So if you move, it doesn't push them, but they can't willingly move towards you. I don't know if there should be a save for that, because that just basically automatically means that no one can come into your space. And this does so blah blah blah. And this is when however long so if you have a concentration spell for an hour, you basically have a melee bubble. That's because what if I did a basic concentration spell that isn't anything special, but I now have a melee bubble that no one can touch? Like that, there should be a way for them to push through it. If they can save to stay in my bubble, they should be able to save to push through. You know what I'm saying? It feels like maybe that's a little bit too powerful because there are an 8-hour concentration spells. I could just literally walk around and no one can come near me. No one can come within 5 feet of me. That's, you see what I'm saying? That's where I feel like it's a little bit too much. If I can literally allow no one can come near me unless I come near them. Like I could just stand in the middle of a street, right? And just, not saying that that's how people would use it. When I think of things and how they're powerful, like the power balance, I think of like, honestly, put it into unpractical use. It just, you could stand in a doorway and literally block a doorway and no one can do anything about it unless they have a spear or an arrow. It just, to me, that doesn't feel right. There has to be a way that someone can push through. If you allow a roll to push through, it's just, here's the deal.
Fine. Like if I'm telling you, there's no level 6 that's gonna just stand in the way of somebody who's like level 20. Like
That won't the level 20 level 20 assassin cannot kill you. You cannot be backstabbed.
Like, no,
you can't,
bro.
This means you can't be backstabbed. You can't be tackled.
There's a way they're getting through that. There's a way.
That also means that even flying creatures would never touch you. You can't be swooped by a flying creature unless they have a range. Yeah, it's a little bit too powerful if there's no way for them to push through. Or I could even say, like, creatures of a certain intelligence won't willingly do it, and then there's a roll. So like a creature of intelligence less than 5, so like CR halves.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand, something like that. Like if it's a certain scale where it's automatic, that's one thing. This is just straight out, they just can't.
So how are you picturing the people are being repelled? Is it a physical force that
it just says they can't? No, they cannot willingly do it. So when I walk, so if you're just standing there and I walk to you, nothing happens. But if you want to walk to me, you just won't. You just won't. You will not. You come up within 5 feet and you will not come to me. Period. Anyone. No creature. No person.
Interesting.
No. I don't.
So it feels like it's the attack is it's a psychic block. That's what it feels like. Okay. So if that's the direction we're going,
there's a save, and someone in chat said, so just like a wisdom save or a con save to be able to enter this space.
There's too few of these. Make it an intelligence based.
Oh yeah, intelligence that are put on a time frame, so X turns, X time, effect lasts. Yeah, I just feel like, because literally, based on the fact that this is up as long as I'm concentrating, there are 8-hour concentration spells. I could literally take the most innocuous spell ever and just concentrate on it, and no one can ever come near me unless I want them to. Even at level 20, maybe. But I can't, like you said.
Yeah.
If at level 20
I 100% agree with this. I 100%
person,
agree with. Yeah.
I'm not buying that they're just going to be like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my only fear. But a save, I don't mind the ability. It needs to have a save. It needs to have either a minimum threshold of automatic use. Like I said, if it said creatures with an intelligence of 5 or lower cannot willingly come near you, or pass a DC wisdom or intelligence save, fine.
Okay.
Does that...
How about this? How about this? I kind of like this. What if the only thing you changed was this only works on creatures you're aware of?
No, because it only really solves someone sneaking up on you. It's just basically like the moment I'm aware of you, you just can't touch me. You can't ever get close to me. Just because I know that you're in the room, that's still too much. Because that only solves the assassin problem.
Yes.
But again, a knight, a 20th level knight just is scared of you. A bear is scared of you.
See, I don't.
Owl bear.
Like I said, I feel like it feels more like a psychic block than you're scared of me.
But however you want to look at it. I'm saying is that if it could be overcome in some way, I'd be happy, and I do not mind a low threshold of some sort for an automatic.
I do agree.
Because I like the idea. I love that idea.
100%. It's a very cool idea just to have this little defensive barrier while you're concentrating.
And imagine, like, when I say like the low barrier or threshold, whether it's hit points based, intelligence based, or CR based, the reason why I say that would even make more sense to me is because imagine, you're the scarecrow. Imagine being able to go out in the field and certain CR creatures literally are scared of you. That's why the scarecrow works so well. You go out into the field and basically anything under a half CR literally just can't be within like 100 feet of you. It makes perfect sense. You could go into a room full of rats and imagine the cinematic where you can just, like the room's swarming and you can just walk through and then you have that bubble that they just do not touch you. Yep. Like, I think that visual makes perfect sense if you could walk through areas that no one else can and things part away from you.
For sure.
But not things that should not be frightening.
Right.
So that would be my thing. I'm okay with it if it has a role. I think it deserves a low threshold though, because then you could show it off. Especially by 6th level, I don't mind a quarter CR creature not wanting to melee. Like,
What if
you know what I mean?
it was? What if it was anything?
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Pokeniner is saying that there aren't any concentrations up until 8 that go past an hour, so fair. Won't be an all-day thing, but still an hour is a long time. So
Really?
and he's suggesting maybe doing another wisdom throw. I kind of like Kage's idea of another intelligence because that's very, that's rare.
Yeah.
But
And if it's psychic damage, you're trying.
yeah, if it's a psychic thing, you have to realize that thing's not like afraid of you. I mean, hell,
Sure.
you could even do something where it's like below an intelligence of 5, it's automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then what if it's a DC and they get to minus whatever their intelligence is from the DC? So make it like a DC 25.
Mm-hmm.
So anything 5 and below auto fails. But starting at 6, it's now a DC 19. A level 7, you know what I mean? Like you could do something like that where you say it's a base of this for like a 5th level. So it's a 25 for 5th level, but 6th level you start to like minus their intelligence away from the DC. So a 20th level, it would be, a 5.
Gotcha.
So a 20th level should be able to overcome that barrier.
Yeah.
But, a level 15, they have a 50-50 chance,
Sure.
I that kind of sounds kind of cool because then it's this dynamic thing of the more intelligent it is, the more likely it can see through your bullshit.
Okay.
But still has a chance to fail. I don't mind it having a chance to fail. It just can't auto.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are some suggestions for you, Pokeniner. Intelligence roll, a min, a minimum threshold, and then a DC throw, or even a scaling DC. I think that would be kind of cool too. Let's see. Hecate says, as is Hex spell is so strong with it since it's an hour-long concentration. Yep. Sub 15 level. And then let's see. So Dragon says 10 out of 10 idea just needs a small tweak. You should do a condition where on unsuccessful wisdom con save, or if the creature is below X intelligence and they're unwilling to enter the area. That way you have 2 conditions so that it's also able to explain the reason why the scarecrow is so effective. Okay, yeah. So yeah, just kind of spreading it out over why small creatures are just automatically not going to go to you, but other things have a chance. Cool. Well, if you do end up changing that, let us know. But otherwise, yeah, I love the idea. The idea behind you being immune to being frightened and having some sort of scary aura, totally down. It just one small change. All right. And then level 10. So we get Lingering Lyric. The fear you impart on others lingers upon them, even when you are nowhere to be found. When one of your Warlock spells or Warlock class features would force a creature to become frightened of you on a failed saving throw, that creature cannot have advantage on its saving throw, or on any saving throw it makes to end the frightened condition you impose on it. Okay. So basically it's just removing any resistance, it sounds like. The equivalent of
I would
resistance.
say yeah, you can't get advantage. I freaking love that.
Yeah,
like that's a
I'm just going to overcome what you can.
Yeah.
I again, that kind of creativity is what I want to see, because again, the fact that we have something like advantages, and that's already a normal like feature in the game. Things like this don't really get covered under
the biggest thing
those.
to try to do is disadvantage, but disadvantage and preventing advantage are 2 different things. And people love to like cancel out disadvantage with advantage to like do all.
And
these
that's really what this is. This is just another way of saying I'm canceling it out, but I'm not imposing it on if you don't already have it. Right? It's only a one-time condition.
Yes.
So I appreciate that it is using another mechanic such as taking away someone's resistance, but applying it in a different fashion. I think that's great. Creatures frightened of you also suffer the effects of the frightened condition, regardless of being in their line of sight or not. They can, however, move in any direction if they cannot see you. Okay, wait, hold on. So creatures frightened of you already also suffer the effects of the frightened condition, regardless of Okay, right, because normally frightened requires line of sight. So once something is frightened of you, it no longer needs to retain line of sight.
Yes. It's all like,
It
again,
stays frightened.
the
of
way
you.
I look at it is like you've plastered your face underneath their eyelids, and like even when their eyes are closed, they're still seeing you.
Or like they just like I feel like it's that whole it's that eeriness where you just walk into a place and you're just like, this place feels evil. You don't see me anymore, but you know I'm there. You're just like, it is following me. It's that it's right behind me. It's in every corner. Or it's around every corner. It's in every shadow. It's that horror feeling that you aren't gonna escape. Lingering Lyric is a cool name, but even like No Escape could be the name for it, just because they're just always frightened. They feel like they can't get away from you. Okay, so creatures already frightened do not need to maintain line of sight. While a creature is frightened of you but cannot see you, they can move in any direction. But its speed is halved, and it takes 1d4 psychic damage for each 5 feet it moves on its turn. So it can move, but it hurts. So normally it wouldn't be able to move, right? When it can see you.
What's that?
When it's frightened and can see you, normally it can't move, right?
It just can't move closer to you. It can move further away from you.
Okay, but this says that once it can't. Oh, wait a second. So this says it can move in any direction when it can't see you. It's still frightened, but it won't be able to move, or it can move in any direction, even if it's considered closer to you. The difference, though, that this says Lingering Lyric now basically means that while a creature is frightened of you but can't see you, it's halved and it takes 1d4 psychic damage. So that's interesting. So it's like, it's a punishment for trying to run away. Like you see me and you're frightened, but if you get line of sight and you try to move, you're like, you're like you could normally run away from me, but it's that horror aspect of once you can't see me, it's almost paralyzingly painful because every direction you run, you don't know if you're running towards me or not. You don't know if you're getting away. You know what I mean? It's that, what's the word I'm looking for? It's that looming feeling of dread. So once you lose line of sight of me, it's now the question of where are you?
So, and
if I move, it's almost like I'm so scared, I'm frightening myself.
There's that one, I think it's a Freddy Fazbear, whatever.
5 Nights at Freddy thing?
Yeah, I think it's one of those games, but there was this part where there's basically the same mechanic as the Weeping Angel. They can only move when you're not looking at them.
Right.
And so there's this thing that's chasing you. And you know, like whenever you like turn a corner and lose line of sight, it's going to start running at you. You know what I mean? And it's like when you can't see it, that's when you're the most scared of it.
That's how I feel like this. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Is when they lose light of sight, they're now more afraid that you're getting closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love this so much.
I like it. And I like that we've halved its speed, so we're also limiting how much damage it can take out.
Because you can stop it by getting line of sight.
Or just not moving. It's only going to damage you if you try to move.
Yes.
So as long as you don't move, you're fine.
But then again, you're also stuck in one spot. I've just made your speed 0.
Right? Oh. Interesting. Ooh, that's another interesting look for it. I know I kind of skipped ahead, but that looks dope. That's that like phantasmal force. Like that's what you think is coming behind you when you don't see the person. All right, so level 14, our final option. Let's see. Grim Ending. The tales of your patron never end well, reflecting the fate of those you face in conflict. Whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you successfully removes the frightened condition, and you are the source of their fright. Okay, so whenever they remove the frightened condition that you gave them, you can use your reaction to extend the condition until the end of your next turn. In addition, the creature becomes vulnerable to psychic damage for the duration unless it's immune. Once a creature is no longer affected by your Grim Ending feature, they must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a success, they are immune to the feature for the next 24 hours. I have to step away real quick, but I have something for this. I think I can make it better.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. This is so disrespectful. I love this so much. It's like, God, oh my gosh. Okay, This is like a weird. There's got to be a limited number of times you can do this, because if you can just do this forever, I think I'm gonna cry. You can just basically say, no, you're not frightened. You're not yet unfrightened of me. Like, you just get one more turn. Just one more turn. Like, and yes, it's just the one more turn. Like, I just love the way that feels. It's like a temporary glitch or a temporary counterspell, not counters. Like,
I really do like it. I'm also not necessarily upset that there's no limit. I'm not necessarily upset with that.
I might be. Because what does it take for you to do it?
It's only when they successfully remove your frightened condition. So you had to frighten them, then they have to successfully remove it. Then you can just extend it for, and that's it. Then it ends.
Okay.
Then it's going to automatically end after the next round.
I'll say this: it doesn't work on
unless they're immune
people that I can't see. So if they got out of my line of sight
and then succeeded, then you can't do it.
And then I can't do it.
That's totally fine. There is no limit, Hecate, but again, it has to be those that you frightened, succeeded out of it, and you can still see. And you're only extending it till the end of the next round, and then it's over. So unless you have another way to keep the frightening going, it's just one more round, like you said. I mean, I could easily see proficiency limit or wisdom saving throw or intelligence like modifier. Like, I could see a limit there, but I kind of don't mind it though, because if you look at the entire build, this is the only thing we're ever doing. The entire build is just keeping people frightened, and that's it. We're not really getting a whole lot. In fact, because we're not getting a whole lot, I wanted to add something to this. And I think you're going to be mad at it now. Well, you're not going to be mad, but if you already question it not having a limit, I think you're going to really want a limit after I tell you what I can do. And yes, if they do make their save, it is for 24 hours. So once a creature is no longer affected, you can't affect that creature for 24 hours. So if I frighten you and you succeed in front of me and I go, no, one more round, once that's done, I can't.
Is that every time someone saves out of your frightened condition, they can't be affected by it again for another 24 hours?
This is just Grim Ending. Once a creature is no longer affected by Grim Ending, once a creature is no longer affected by your Grim Ending, they must make a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a success, they're immune to this feature. So if I Grim End you, if I extend you for one round, at the end of it, you make another save. If you succeed, I can't Grim End you anymore. But I can still frighten you again. I just can't ever extend your frightened for the next 24 hours. That makes sense? Honestly, I don't even think that this should have an extra save. I just think that once a creature is no longer affected by Grim
I was about
Ending,
to say the same thing.
Immune. So that's okay. So that's what I would say.
The same thing
is just get rid of this. Get rid of they must make a wisdom. Just say once they've been affected by Grim Ending, they're immune for 24 hours. That way, yes, in a clutch moment, you could stop someone from going out of frightened, but not just repeatedly if they keep failing, right? Like, it should just be the one time. So
yeah, spamming that on one person over and over and over again on one day, like,
I think one time per target's fine. I'm okay one time per target with no limit. That's what I was imagining, not this. I just think one time per target with no limit is fine, because again, however many people are in there that you get frightened and save out, I'm not worried how many you extend for one round.
Sure.
Because it's not doing that much. But again, here's my idea. Here's how I want to take this up one more notch. I still want to get rid of this wisdom save and say just Grim Ending one time.
Sure.
But what I want to see is right here. Whenever a creature you could see within 30 feet successfully removes the frightened condition and you are the source, you can use your reaction, and I do like that it's not a reaction, to extend the condition to the next turn. Where it says the creature becomes vulnerable to psychic damage for the duration. I want to change that. And I want it to say, in addition, the creature takes psychic damage equal to any damage it takes during for the duration. So basically what I would do is say, if you extend it for that next round, whatever damage it takes that damage in psychic damage as well. Basically, everything is double damage on it, just for that one round. That, and again, you can only do it once per target. I think that would make this super juicy for a capstone, because imagine doing that on the BBEG. They go, I'm done with this, and you're like, no, you're not. Everybody hit him with your hardest attack. It's double damage now, and you only get it for one round, which means no one fuck up your roll. This is a one-time option that if everything aligns and this person saves out, you basically get everybody in the party a one-round double damage on it. Just once. I kind of like that for a capstone.
I would like that if you could do that part proficiency number of times.
You think
that specific part?
Okay.
Not being able to do that for everybody you use Grim Ending on, because then everybody you use Grim Ending on, you get to blow them up like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of, again, but when I look at this entire subclass, all I'm doing is messing with Frightened, and it does not do much for like the whole party. That's why for this is good for the individual character.
It's great for everybody, because a Frightened condition messes with their attack rolls and their ability checks. And like, if you're in combat with these people, that's pretty much all they're doing, with the exception of saving throws.
I don't know. I like the idea. I think it could use more, because I just don't feel personally that Frightened does enough. And if that's all
I agree.
Focusing on, I kind of want to have this where if you get that Grim off, it's like a one-time option, because it's only for one round. So if people aren't in position, you know what I mean? It's very much like, yes, it could be spammed, but I don't mind that if that's the only thing this thing really gets. Because outside of that, you're just keeping people frightened, which is powerful, but I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Do you think that's too much to add that?
So
I like the resistance, but the thing is how much psychic damage are you actually going to be doing against it, right? Not a lot of things do psychic damage.
I 100% agree with your take. Like, I want to do that, period, because I think that's much better.
Limit how many times?
I just want to limit.
I mean, I don't mind that too. Honestly, if we want to limit it to just Grim Ending, if we added that damage, even if we just said you can only use Grim Ending X number of times per day, like proficiency or wisdom modifier.
I kind of was leaning towards what you guys were saying. Like, I do get being able to do that to everybody, especially if especially if we do, especially if it is only once every 24 hours. That to me is
okay.
Huge.
How about this?
To me,
what if Grim Ending read as is? You can infinitely do it. Anybody who saves out in front of you, you can just extend it.
Mm-hmm.
What if we add a line that says, in addition, when you cast Grim Ending, you can burn a spell slot and do the psychic damage. So if you have a spell slot available, you can burn that spell slot as a warlock, right? You're burning your highest level spell, but you're giving that target double the psychic damage for that round. So you have to give up something in order to trigger it.
I would say burning a spell slot would be a warlock spell slot.
A warlock spell slot. Because at that point, how many would you have by level 14? Because if by level 14 or even by level 20, if you have so many, A, you're not going to want to burn your highest level ones. And B, if you are, you're not going to burn them all.
As a level 14, you only have your highest level ones.
No, but what I mean is like if this is the start of the battle, I'm not going to want to spam this because I have other powerful spells. This is one of those, you're not going to burn a spell unless it's the BBEG. And guess what? You're burning the spell to give your entire party double damage. That's more powerful than your spell. So that's the tacticalness, right? But it also limits you, because even if I wanted to spam it, again, what 4 or 5 warlock spells by now?
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm okay with
that. Spells. What level? 14?
Yeah.
Spell. Oh, that's spells known. Spell slots.
So Pokeniner doesn't really want to limit because it ruins how the story goes. I'm not sure what that means, but a story could end, but that could still mean another story begins. I'm not really sure what that means.
3 spell slots total. The total number.
Okay, so you'd be able to use it 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the story, like the idea that because you're trying to fear, like instill fear in them. But again, that's the idea. Is like, yeah, I don't want to limit like the grim ending like feature, like being able to extend frightened. But we're just talking about limiting like just the damage output, like just the extra damage. Because again, I just feel like honestly at level 14, I've been liking this so far. But if this is my capstone, I'm kind of upset because being vulnerable to psychic damage isn't enough. There's just not enough things. Like the only time what were we doing psychic damage on? Like, the lingering lyric, 1d4 psychic damage if they move and they're out of sight. You know what I'm saying? So being vulnerable to that.
You know what? Maybe I hear you, but what if this class did something else for you being a warlock? And maybe it's an invocation, maybe it's something else, but it was basically saying that your Eldritch Blast now does psychic damage instead.
I would be much happier with that because then I would feel like I'm doing more.
And you get to like pump out psychic damage. You also have spells that do psychic damage. Your Dissonant Whisper does psychic damage. A lot of the other things do.
Oh, I mean, Hecate, if you get a 9th level spell from Mystic Arcanum, doing Psychic Scream, that's like 28d6.
Yes. But again, I get the idea that the vulnerability is really only going to be to me specifically and anybody else in my party that happens to be able to do psychic damage as well. Right? And then I'm forcing them to use psychic damage when I did the thing. You know, even if they didn't want to or weren't prepared to or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I do.
Yeah, again, as a capstone, my only hesitation is like, as I read this, I'm very, very interested in using it every step of the way. But once it gets to this capstone, I feel like it doesn't deliver by the end.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm still left with I'm still left wanting. So that's the only reason why I'm suggesting, like, I liked the idea that if it's only for one extra round, I just like the idea that that person becomes just fragile in a sense. You know what I mean? Like feeble. That's why I was kind of thinking of like the extra damage. Like everything you do, it's basically like a mental breakdown at that point. They are so scared that everything that attacks them is that creature. Like, is their fear. Like, it's just that overwhelming, like, dread. Like the grim, again, grim ending. Like, the imagery that even if it's not real damage, again, because there used to be there was a spell, old school spell, that did that where it actually made you believe you were taking more damage than you were. And if you took so much damage in your head that you thought you died, you'd pass out. So this was an actual 2nd edition spell, but you would cast it on somebody, and yeah, they would take, like, if you did 10 10 damage, they would think they took 25. And if that 25, if they had 15, you only did 10, but they thought they took 25, they would pass out.
Baller spell.
It's a dope ass spell.
That's a dope ass spell.
So that's what I'm thinking of. Like when I think of grim ending, when I'm thinking of like the extra psychic damage, it's like that psychic damage is them literally thinking they're about to die. You know what I mean? It's just like the world's over. Everything is the worst case scenario.
I want to do that. Make grim ending do that. Shit.
Where it adds psychic damage, or they think they're taking equal, like double damage, and then if it were to put them under, they pass out.
That would be sick. Like just be
like pass out from fear.
Yeah.
And then at that point they become incapacitated, and then you could say that would do the lore better, because the patron doesn't necessarily want you to kill people. It wants you to make them fearful. If you could make the person pass out and then let them walk away permanently. Oh, then you could even add in, if you make a person pass out, they are permanently afraid of your patron. Like you could just add in like, a specialty thing where if you don't kill the person, but you got grim ending, it's like you actually like, you permanently instilled that fear in that person. It sounds like that would be better for lore if you wanted to be more of an RPG person. I still think it needs to do more damage, but again, that's another option. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I love this idea. I love everything that we've been doing. I can't get over the fact that as a player, if I read through this, I honestly would be just, I wouldn't be thrilled. I would be kind of disappointed by the end that I'm just not feeling like I'm doing, everything is built up on itself. Everything has been built up on the last thing.
Yes.
But I just don't feel
so
like
well.
I am complete. I feel like I'm just left these last 6 levels. I feel like I'm just going to be like, you know, if I could just do one more thing.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I know that a lot of other people, and again, here's the problem, because warlocks are not really spellcasters. Like, they are, but again, the most spell slots they'll ever get is 4, right? And you do get some leveled spells as cantrips potentially, depending on which invocations you end up taking, but at the end of the day, you're not really a big spellcaster. You're not really going to be out here dropping bombs and stuff. Like, yes, you get your Mystic Arcanums, but that is a one-time spell a day.
Darkest Hour should do psychic damage as well then. Also, because Hecate put in there that, you know, if you could do psychic damage with that final feature, but why doesn't Darkest Hour? If a creature starts their turn within 5 feet of you, they take psychic damage and then must make a wisdom saving throw.
Actually,
leave.
I like that. I like that because when they start their turn there, they have to make a save, right?
Or leave.
Yes.
I think they should take psychic damage, then make a saving throw or leave.
Agreed.
I think the psychic damage is what causes them to make the saving throw. What's going on, Carts?
And I think to what we were saying earlier about people being able to push themselves in, I think when they push themselves in, they're going to take damage. They're going to take
and
psychic
then
damage.
if you're grim ending and then you do the thing where you push into their space, that extra round, your grim ending is going to double the psychic damage from Darkest Hour. Because imagine grim ending and Darkest Hour, like it's your grim ending because you were facing your darkest, like it's literally a compounding aspect of it. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe this is fine. It's just that when I see that you become vulnerable to psychic damage, in my opinion, there's no psychic damage. Like Pokeniner said in chat that like your allies could, but a subclass should not rely on their allies to be fulfilled. Like for me to feel really good, I would need 1 or 2 allies that do psychic damage. And if I don't, I shouldn't have to wait for that, right? I shouldn't need them to fulfill my prophecy. My prophecy is the fear. So I think if that's why I just don't think that this is powerful enough. But if everything we did had the chance to do psychic damage,
yes,
then this would be even more compounding and it would make everything feel fine. That's why my only concern is I love everything except it just doesn't do enough with just vulnerable to psychic damage. But adding any level of psychic damage to what we've done before would do this even more. Because right now we do psychic damage if they're out of sight and they choose to move, and that's it. Like, unless any of these specifically do psychic damage, which I think Phantasmal Killer might.
Dissonant Whispers does.
Right, but those are also spells, so you're gonna have to burn those spell slots. So outside of
if I as a DM would allow them to use their Spirit Guardians doing psychic damage. Hell freaking yeah. Hell freaking yeah, I would let that happen.
Yeah, so I guess that's where I'm coming down to is this thing is so on point. It's just that
give them that feature. Say you can like change the damage type of certain your warlock spells to, at the very least, any of your the gained ones. Any of these spells.
Any of your expanded spells can be turned into psychic damage.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or just all of your spells. Shoot. Because I can't really even think of many warlock spells that would be a problem with. Like, imagine you got Fireball somehow. Cast. Well, that would
be weird. Yeah. So I like it. I just think that just ending with this, we either need to be doing more psychic damage or this needs to do psychic damage. I guess that's it needs to do more damage. We need to do more damage in order to capitalize on this, or This just needs to, heighten. It doesn't have to be psychic, but this just needs to heighten something. Because I just feel like if you get to level 14, I don't know if you're really going to feel like you are keeping up with the rest of the party after this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know how often frightened immunity comes into play later game.
It depends on how undead you are.
Yeah.
A lot of immunities in the undead scene. Devils, dark things. Things that are supposed to be scary. But, dude.
I love this idea so much, though. Like, just, it's
100%.
It is exactly what we wanted to see from a patron. This is the exact kind of conversation we've been having. I
100%
I
agree.
really also enjoyed this as a leveling up process, because again, we always talk about having that consistency and having that feeling like you start out with an idea of what you're going to be, and then it just keeps solidifying itself. That's exactly what this does. It grows upon itself. Everything takes what you already can do and brings it into a new level, and it does it in a lot of different creative ways. You know what I mean?
Very much so.
Especially like with Darkest Hour, having them, lose line of sight, but that heighten the experience. That's crazy.
What's thinking lightweight to Dead by Daylight vibes? Isn't that game where you're
Oh yeah, like the terror radius.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Terror radius. Yeah, so for me, aside from, I think, just the auto frighten at level 1, hell, I wouldn't even mind giving that at like towards level 6. You know what I mean? Like increasing that over time. Like I think I would change this to the I would personally use this as the minimum cap, and then there's a save to auto to be, or because this is the oh no, sorry. Oh yeah. So I would just say that I like this one, but I think I would just do. I think I just said I would just take away the first bullet at a first level spell. I would just take away the first bullet and just have it as you make them super sensitive to the extra damage and they can't take reactions. And that's just a personality. But I think this works for 5th edition. It's just for the high point conversion. That would be the only change I would make, is just removing that one bullet of they become frightened of you. I think this is just more of they become frightened in general, is how I would remember.
Oh.
Like, still the same ability, it's just that you aren't the source, you just have the ability to inflict that sense of fear.
Interesting.
So that would be my only change there, but again, I'm not going to knock it down because this works for 5th edition. So, no points off of there. Again, the only change I would really make from Darkest Hour, I think just adding psychic damage. I would not mind if Darkest Hour did psychic damage if they were within 5 feet of you.
Yeah.
And I think that triggering the wisdom saving.
Absolutely clutch.
Lingering Lyric, I think, is awesome. I think it's super creative that you make it worse when they lose line of sight of you.
Yes. No, I 100% agree. I can't. So many of these ideas are just, they are blowing my mind. Like how out of the, like I've never would have thought to put some of these together like this, and I'm like, but it's so obvious, it's so right there, like why wouldn't you?
Right. It's taking advantage away instead of disadvantage.
Yeah, just all of these things. I'm definitely gonna be rewatching this episode for ideas myself. Right, like I'm telling you.
I think with Grim Ending, I would just, if you add psychic damage to Darkest Hour, I feel Grim Ending feels better. If you don't want to do that, I don't mind the kind of, focused bomb. And hell, I might even take a cue from 2nd edition and do that psychic damage isn't real, like you suggested. I might do the whole Grim Ending is because, again, tying it in with the patron wants to instill fear, not death.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that the double damage would be psychic but not real, so if that were to take them to 0, then they pass out. But then the fear and the story lives on, and then they're permanently afraid. That would be the way that I would like to interpret that, because that's how I would tie in the direct use of the patron. Because again, to me, the patron isn't just a choice; it's actually an entity, and that's how it would feel better for me to run that entity, is to say, I would rather you keep them alive. Thus, if I give you a power that helps you topple your enemies, but keeps them alive for me.
What if there was like this thing that was like just no haunting them? Like,
that's why I think of the permanent fear. Because imagine like this is an entity who's trying to become godlike in the reverse way. Instead of people believing in me and praying to me, it's people who fear me, who like look around corners, right? It's still the same concept of you're always thinking of me.
I imagine. So I watched this series on Netflix called The Haunting of Hill House, and there was this weird, creepy girl called the Bent Neck Lady, and it was this weird thing that was following this one girl around. It was just this thing that she would randomly see. That's kind of how I visioned this permanent fear. It's like everywhere you go, whenever you turn the corner, you see visions of this crook out here just watching you as you pass by, as you go down the street, like all of this stuff. And like how different people, like imagine that did happen to somebody of a higher level, right? That could be what happens to them, but then they could explore what that looks like and what somebody in their condition, like they might not be as afraid, but they might try and figure out what's going on. And
so Pokeniner makes a couple good points, but I will play devil's advocate a little bit, because I get wanting to have like a more defensive like primary skill, so not adding the damage to the Darkest Hour. I understand, but the thing about like the scenarios feeling bad if you're up against something with immunity, to play devil's advocate, I don't buy that ever as an excuse, because we have the nice ice monarch. You can make that argument of, well, this would feel bad if you went up against an ice creature. Sure. If you have a celestial that does radiant damage, it feels bad if you go up against something that's immune to radiant damage. Like anything you specialize or anything that you focus is going to have a counterpart. And that's kind of the point. But if you're going to use the argument of, well, if I can't take this up against everything and win, it's not good. That's not D&D to me. That's that's the video game mindset, right? That's the Skyrim mindset of it doesn't matter what I choose, everything falls before me.
I did have an idea, because I thought it would kind of be cool to take people that you might not expect would be able to be afraid, like something that does have immunity. Imagine if I was thinking back when we were talking about having charges for the grim ending, if one of the things I could do with the charges was attempt to frighten somebody that has immunity to being frightened, but they have advantage on the saving throw. If I could use a charge of this to try and frighten somebody that I would never be able to frighten otherwise, I think that would be. Now, I feel like there are certain types of creatures, like I don't think you can frighten a gelatinous cube, right? Like I just don't think it's a thing. Like what is a scared gelatinous cube gonna look like? So maybe not, but
yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't think there's any concern that you're going to, especially if you have a DM that knows that this is your specialty. Why would they, like, again, it's kind of one of those, if you're running this as a player and the concern is, well, what if you fight something that's immune? Your DM knows what you're running. If they're throwing that at you consistently, it's a shit DM, or they don't like you, or they don't like the build. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that when it comes to being concerned about if I fight something immune, that's not a real in-game problem. That is a choice someone made, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that as something that you would make this build and then accidentally stumble into. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be like, I made this build and then they go, well, here's the campaign and everything's immune. Like, that's not how it works. Everybody kind of knows what the session's going to be about, what the setting's going to be about, and the DM knows what you guys are building. Usually, sometimes they're surprised as well. I don't know if I buy the argument that, well, if there's something immune, I can't do anything. And I'm like, well, that's, if I have a hammer and I fight something immune to bludgeoning damage, I can't cry. If I have ice magic and I go up against the Ice Monarch, yeah, like that's kind of the point of the game. Like I don't understand. I don't know if I would look at this as a player and go, yeah, but there's too many things that are not frightened. Like I don't think there are. I think that this is so great that I just don't see that being a concern. I think we should absolutely lean into more subclasses that do these kind of single focuses, not because they're universally going to be the end all be all, but this is going to be so versatile in so many different campaigns and with so many different parties. I wish we had more parties that were more uniquely specialized like this and not so many jack of all trades, So I don't know. I don't think that's a concern. I think you should really lean into it and not be as concerned about fighting something immune to being frightened, because again, that's a choice that your DM had to make, and
the only exception I could say to that is like people that are like running modules and things like that that'll have like pre-generated and written stuff.
And that goes back to my point though. Did the players not know that? If I'm choosing this and I show up and go, I have this great build that I just find out at session 0, by the way, we're playing in this world and nothing can be frightened. It's like, I feel again that I don't feel like I would start the game without that knowledge. Like even if it was session 0,
I don't know how much there are a lot of DMs who are like really antsy about like, no, you guys don't get to know anything. You guys can't read over the module. Like,
and that might be the case
because they don't want people.
And that totally might be the case if in that case, if in that one scenario, there's a DM that is running a module that has a crap ton of non-frightenable things, and you happen to choose this class, sure. Would that situation specifically feel bad? Yes.
What I mean
I
is,
don't know what the likelihood of that being a regular thing is.
I very much agree that I don't think that it is something that we need to be concerned about.
Exactly.
Right.
I think it is.
I get the mentality. I'm like, I also don't want to be able to just feel like I can never do anything. But if I am able to use this fairly regularly, even if it's in low level combat, like I feel like this would be incredibly effective, right? Mm-hmm. Like anytime you could just drop an AoE fear spell, like I swear you actually get the spell fear in the warlock spell list, and I'm pretty sure that's AoE. But oh yeah, 30-foot cone, hell yeah.
I mean, and again, Pokeniner says designing something around 1 damage can make players feel bad. I don't know if I've ever seen that as being the case. Again, we've seen the Ice Monarch that, like...
Yeah, no, people like that. Like, there's sometimes where people do that themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I've been doing that with a lot of some of the characters that I have. It's like, it almost feels like they kind of gravitate towards an affinity to one of the magic types, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Like you can dabble in others, but
and again, Pokeniner, I'm gonna have to be a devil's advocate. I don't agree. Players don't necessarily guarantee that they're gonna be more than 1 damage type. Like I don't necessarily that being a player automatically states that you have to be multi-versatile. I think the ideology of a player being someone who can specialize is part of the player's choice.
But here's the thing, it's like, yes, if you really want something that does another damage type, you can get it. It's not like it's impossible for you to get. So the question is, what if you're saying, I want to make sure I have more than 1 damage type, then make sure you have more than 1 damage type. If you want to, like, whatever you want is available for you.
That's true.
People, you just do the thing, if you pick this class and you want to have more than 1 damage type, you can do that. This class isn't going to help you in those damage types, but you'll have it,
I agree with Cart. I think having a completely fear-based like subclass, especially with psychic damage, I think it makes perfect sense. And I think it would add such a unique spin to most gaming sessions. I think there would be more of a rare chance that a player would not have fun than others. You know what I mean? And even on the rare case where in that session, this player couldn't do something in one aspect of the game, you know, again, I think that's common. I don't think every player should be involved in every scene across the campaign. There are going to be some players that shine and some players that are in the background, and that's okay. And I think that this player is going to be one of those ones where when they shine, they are going to just outright shine. And I don't see that this is that kind of like subclass where I'd feel bad if I can't use my powers just yet. Because I'd just be like, not yet. Just wait. You know what I mean? Like, this is that one where you're okay waiting for the right moment.
I just imagine them like picking flowers while everybody else is fighting this thing. It's like, it's immune to being frightened. So like, what do you want me to do?
I know, right?
Like, I'm scary. The thing I do. Like, what do you want from me? I'm just gonna be over here peeing on a tree.
Oh man, imagine that, having like a little one-on-one with like their patron of like, what do? I can't make them afraid. And then they get like a cool little like, you know, thing with their patron about how to overcome your own fear of fearless. I don't know. Like,
yep.
I don't know. I think it's
multi-class. If you really feel that bad about it,
I think it's fine. I think it would be okay. But anyway, so all in all, I do think that for high point purposes, outside of dropping the one bullet point, I might make an alteration to Darkest Hour, and I would probably make an alteration to Grim Ending. But outside of that, again, this thing is extremely inspirational. It is really unique and creative. I want to play it. Like, I want to play it pretty much as is, in pretty much any setting. So, yeah, I mean, and it will get the inspiration point because it does, you know, it does present the deal and the relationship of a patron in a way that we haven't seen, like 99% of Warlocks do. So I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a new for Pokeniner, but it's gonna be a 9. Like, it's just a couple modifications, and I could absolutely just work this directly into high point. There's enough here to utilize for both lore and mechanics. And I think any DM could easily take this and make even small modifications for them to be super happy with. I would use the fuck out of this.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I want more like focused subclasses like this.
I think this is phenomenal. I think this is so cool. Dude, I want to sublet this subclass.
Right? Oh man. An entire fear party based on fear. Like just different ways.
Just a bunch of scary bitches.
Either a bunch of ways to inflict fear, and then the like half the party has really good ways to inflict fear. The other half has good ways to capitalize on fear. Like like either a monk or a fighter being able to capitalize on any target that has the frightened condition. It doesn't have to be frightened of you, but you can just capitalize on the frightened condition.
Yeah.
Like a rogue could easily capitalize on someone else's frightened condition.
Imagine anything that's frightened, you get your sneak attack on. That's another way to proc your sneak attack.
Oh, imagine like if a rogue, right? Because you think about a rogue like hiding in shadows and capitalizing on, you know, people's disadvantages. What if the rogue had an ability where, you know, you can choose a target with a frightened condition, and you can become their target, or you can share their fear. So essentially, like, let's say, you know, you're this thing and they're frightened of you, so they can't get closer to you. Imagine the subletted rogue has an ability where when someone's frightened, they can basically become equal to the source, so they can't go no closer to you or me.
Oh,
so they see me as like they see you.
Oh,
so even though I'm frightened of you, they basically also become.
I become a mirror of the source of your fear.
Yes, like that would be like a way that the rogue could benefit from it. And then again, the fighter could say, and you know, could have an advantage on anything with like.
That would be wild. Just that ability compared, like, in compilation with this class right here, that would be wild.
And that's the whole point of sublet and subclasses, is to see what it would be like if they all had the same approach, or if they all had their own approach to the same abilities. Yes. So yeah, no, I like it. I think a 9 is fully deserving. I think again, I want to use this as a player, but as a DM, I would just have to make a few adjustments. But that's just because my setting treats patrons a little differently.
Sure.
And the power scaling is a little bit different for second edition. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm coming from. But for fifth edition, I think this is pretty much like, I would say it's usable as is. I would say that most people would be fine with it as is. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit more powerful, but I don't think there's any problems with it. Like it doesn't not feel like it belongs, and everything feels like it belongs with itself.
Yeah.
So
I very much agree. The progression of this whole thing, just the mind-blowing creativity and like the execution of a lot of these abilities. I'm blown away. I absolutely love this. This is by far one of my most favorite reviews we've done.
Yeah. This was great. Thank you, Pokeniner. I appreciate this. This was awesome.
Very cool.
I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope it was fun for you. I hope you got some good ideas. If you do decide to change anything, always let us know in the Discord. But if we at least help you solidify your ideas and made sure that you like what you made, that's awesome as well. Definitely invite anybody to give this a try or play test it. Would be awesome to know what y'all thought about it. So let us know if you're in chat. Let us know what you guys think. If you're on YouTube, let us know in the comments. And definitely like and share if you know anybody who would try out this subclass. Or sorry, yes, the subclass. Yeah, no, it is a subclass. All right, but I think that's going to be us. It's kind of been a short stream, but it was, I think, good, informational, a lot of fun. If you will definitely let us know if anybody play tests it, that'd be awesome. But yeah. All right, so real quick before we go, what is Pokeniner's new average, and what review can the folks anticipate next week?
All right. Ooh, I actually think that one was put on hold. All right, let me get your average. Ooh, your average Pokeniner is an 8.
Killer.
Absolutely.
Pokeniner's average is an 8. Let's go. And what item can we look forward to next Monday?
So that's what I was looking at. Next Monday is in the rotation. Oh no, we have a submission from DXY25. Cart, you have Path of the Primal Warden. That will be our next review.
Path of the Warden?
Path of the Primal Warden.
Primal Warden, okay. Ooh,
Yes.
Path of the Primal Warden. That sounds like a barbarian subclass.
You would be accurate.
All right, there we go. So join us next Monday for Path of the Primal Barbarian, or Path of the Primal Warden Barbarian subclass. Sounds fantastic. We will also be back on Friday as always. I have no idea what this Friday will be. It's been kind of a roller coaster of topics recently, but we will have a deep dive topic for you this Friday, as well as our April community stream will be up for earning. So, well, wait a second. Hold on. Yes, because they already got the April community stream. So the May community stream will be up for earning. Showed a couple of DMs the video of the showdown, and they loved it. Awesome. Kind of nervous, but awesome. That's. Did you show them the live stream or the actual edited version? Because the edited version, I believe, is up, right? Is that one of the ones that's up? No, it's not. That's the one I have to do next. Right. Yeah. The showdown is the one I'm going to edit for next week. So this week, this week I am posting the pop culture build for Alucard. Next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but for a week from Wednesday, I will be posting the subclass showdown. So I'm glad they really liked it. But if you have anybody else to show, wait another week and I will have a cut down edited version that they'll be able to actually like digest a little bit more. Because that was a lot that we did during that showdown. But you all sat in chat and Discord and watched it together? I don't know why that makes me feel more nervous than being live right now. Why does that make me feel nervous? Like having a whole bunch of people in a Discord watching a video of ours versus having a whole bunch of people live. That doesn't make any sense, but that makes me feel weird.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you all enjoyed it though. I don't know, just reading it, just we all sat in a Discord and watched it. Just like, that's okay. I'm just sitting there. Hey, I love it. I love it. Hey, you know what? I'll take it.
This is probably the views you got.
But yeah. So we will have both of those in the next 2 weeks. The pop culture build and the showdown will be posted on our main channel. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, I will keep posting in Discord when those go live as well. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, and the wheels idea we probably will do in the future. If we do more of these showdown challenges, I love the idea of having a theme and then a class wheel, and then those two get spun, and then that's the challenge that whoever the participants have to do.
Nice.
I really like that idea. So
very much so.
All right, so that's gonna be.
You know, it would be epic if we could just make our wheel a dice.
I could easily make basically a digital dice that has the faces. We could do that too, or just roll tables. Easy.
Oh yeah,
we could easily do roll tables. So we will do more of those. If chat seems to like it, everyone in the Discord seemed to like it, and hopefully YouTube will like it. So yeah, we'll be doing more of this structured content. I hope you guys like the new format. I will be putting a poll out in Discord with some screenshots of this format and the previous format just to see what you guys like better. I have a feeling this one's gonna win out. I have a feeling that this general format of us being at the top, and everything being more front and center than us being way at the bottom is gonna be better. So
I'm here for it.
Anyway,
Cart, somebody, you're calling out to me.
What's up?
Did I miss something? I believe I did. I forgot about.
Oh, he's asking you about switching out rotation. If you wanted to switch out one of his reviews.
Cart wants to switch out one of his reviews with a different one?
If you wanted to switch it out with the Tarrasque-born race, the actual like the Dragonborn Tarrasque-born.
Yeah.
If you wanted to review that instead of whatever is up next, I think he's suggesting that might have been submitted.
We can do that.
All right, not a problem. The Tarrasque-born instead of the Barbarian.
Yeah, we'll do the Tarrasque-born.
Okay.
Do me a favor, Cart. I will need a new name for what we reviewed.
Oh, the original Tarrasque-born.
The original Tarrasque-born. If we are
the creation, the abomination,
the creature, Tarrasque-born, but
that will need a new name. Yeah.
Yes, or I mean, at least like an additional moniker, so I can tell the difference between which one we're talking about. Like Tarrasque-born Unlimited. I don't know.
All right, cool. He has a new race or a new page. So
okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, send us all of that, and we will get that updated.
Sling it to me in submissions, please, and thank you.
The Tarrasque shade. Oh, I kind of like that.
Okay.
All right. The shade of the Tarrasque. I get that. You know, like it's like a shadow of its former self. I get it. Okay. Cool. All right, anything else? Any other last questions, chat, or can we finally shut it down with our outro and get on out of here? Anything else, chat? Any other final questions, comments, concerns? I will post our links, of course, to our link tree for all of our socials and for Discord for anybody who wants to join. And then in just a second here, we will get with our outro. Outro. Not too bad. About 2 hours. It's a good stream. Yes, send us all the needed material. Thank you so much. You've all been fantastic. As always, thank you all for showing up and keeping us company. It does mean a lot to us that you guys hang out. Thank you so much, Carter. Thank you so much for the cheers. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. No, you guys hanging out, keeping us company and giving us these ideas is what keeps us going. It's what doesn't really keep the lights on, but you know what? It's the reason why the lights are on right now.
Facts. Big facts.
It doesn't keep them on, but it's the reason they're on. So, just keep them coming. We want to keep producing good content for y'all, and we want to know what you like and what you dislike. So always be, giving us suggestions, and we have that available in the Discord as well, so you can always let us know how we can improve. But otherwise, I think we're going to get out of here. It's been a fantastic review. Pokeniner, thank you so much for submitting that. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you liked the score and liked the ideas. Whether it solidified what you already wanted or whether you're going to come up with some new ideas, let us know. If you liked it, like, subscribe, comment on YouTube on your thoughts. Would you use this subclass? Would you use it in your homebrew? Would you make any changes? Let us know. Otherwise, we will be back on Friday for your normally scheduled D&D content. Otherwise, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend and a great week ahead of you. Cheers.
This is my friends.